Apologies. I think let's call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Forget that you can't eat your.
Going out to sell.
It is.
I'm not going there every Monday.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Hawkins,
Here,
Gilman,
absent,
Hubbard,
absent.
Rudy,
Here.
Detloff,
Here.
Morgan,
Present.
Bassini,
Here.
we're all,
Here.
Whittle, Susan.
Beetle, absent. As of now. Anybody heard from Susie?
Yes, she's not coming.
Okay, thank you. Man, handicap, sorry. Wait, and slow.
She was just operated on like last week.
Yeah, you know, I love a good operation. Put me back together. Do we have a motion to approve village board meeting minutes from 3/17/2025?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the March 17th, 2025 meeting as presented.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second.
Call for vote, or
Yeah.
You call for the vote.
I call for
Yes.
vote now.
Now you ask us.
I'm new to this, by the way.
You ask each person individually on this line. You start with Bernie,
We started with Morgan because he made.
or Morgan, sorry.
All, Morgan,
Yep, yes.
Bassini,
Yes.
we're all,
Yes.
Detloff,
Yes.
Rudy,
Yes,
That's it. Perfect.
I was the second on that one.
yeah, I got you now.
He motioned
Okay.
it, yeah, so it was his motion.
Okay.
Don't worry, we got
You
you.
are doing way better than I would be
You're
right now.
fine. Do we have any public comments today? We got a huge audience and I know nobody wants to say anything.
No.
No?
Somebody.
We had one signed up, but
They left. He was thrown in.
Oh, wrong meeting. Okay, wrong town. Another meeting?
No, he was thinking that this was when the election changed
Oh,
for some
okay.
reason, so he would have been a comment apparently at that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. No,
Back
no
next
comments.
Yep.
Love it. Do we have a motion for bills for payment and payroll?
Yes. I move to approve bills for payment dated April 3rd, 2025 from the corporate general fund in the amount of $10,966.84. Also dated April 3rd from the Fest Fund, $165. Also dated April 3rd from the Motor Fuel Tax Fund in the amount of $13,909.81. Also moved to approve payroll ending March 15th, $18,084.69. Ending March 17th, 2025, in the amount of $4,290. And just so you know, that was the Netflix monster pay through that,
It was work for the Monster Netflix video. We are gonna be getting a check for about $6,800 back to cover this cost of this payroll.
We also have a payroll ending March 29th in the amount of $23,529.66. Ending April 3rd, 2025, in the amount of $193.36.
I'll second.
Anybody have any questions about any of it?
I don't think so. I do.
Okay,
For
yes.
the vehicle set up for 75, right? So keep the police cars. Says run over,
That
mass.
was something else. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it is.
Curious, yeah. For the 75.
We used to set up for 75. Well, that's just the card, right?
Yeah, that was permanent May, but it was only 75 months.
Oh, that was for, stickers for the little ATV.
Yeah.
Oh.
Decals for the government.
I
Question.
love the question.
Yes,
No, I was just commenting. I think we already have a motion in the second.
motion and a second.
He was just.
So you say Gary Morgan or Gary first, and I'll say yes.
I said, what?
So you're gonna call.
Get my name first,
Okay.
because I heard the motion.
Gotcha. Vote on the payroll and payments.
Yes, sir.
Gary Morgan,
Yes,
Robin,
And then we also have a second, I think. right?
second by Robin,
Yes.
Detloff,
Yes.
Morgan,
War me? Yes.
Whoa, you
See?
Yes.
oh, I'm sorry, Worrell.
Still yes.
Steve, it took me a while to get it straight too, so it's fine. It's fine, don't worry. Department reports. Clerk Scott Dillman's not here, but it looks like we have to vote on a special event liquor license. Did Ben, do you know?
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'll make the motion. This is for Louis Maldonado. They're doing, I believe they're doing a fundraiser. The young man has cancer.
Yes.
So I would like to make the motion to go ahead and approve the special liquor license.
And I'll second it.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it for two different things? Is that why Tracy's on here or is that?
Tracy is the one that's in charge of it, and they have to have us approve it first so they can go to the state and get a liquor license for that day.
So we have a motion by Mr. Morgan.
No, by Mr.
Oh,
Detloff.
Mr. Detloff,
Yes.
Detloff, yes,
second.
seconded by Gary,
Mr.
Yes.
second. Rooney,
Yes.
Cassini,
Yes.
Worrell.
Yes.
Good job. Thanks, Steve. For attorneys, we do have Miss Haley back up with us again. She's gonna go over,
So this is actually under building and grounds.
yeah, I'm not sure why.
Do you want to go now or,
We'll just talk about it now.
okay. All
So,
right,
yeah, go ahead.
so we're talking about 111 North Maple Street. This, on January 4th of 2018, the court entered a judgment in favor of the village and against the defendant. I believe it was, Roche was the last name, in the sum of $18,115.89 for the cost that the village has incurred in demolishing that house. On May 24th of 2018, a notice of lien was recorded for that amount for the demolition costs. Pursuant to the Illinois Code of Civil Procedure, once a judgment is entered, in the 7th year of that judgment, you have to file a petition with the court to revive the judgment. If not, then the judgment expires. So right now, we're here to determine whether or not you guys want our office to go ahead and initiate that petition with the court to renew the judgment, or if you guys want to let it expire. Something else that you guys need to consider is that on September 25th, 2024, the property was sold. It was sold, but it was by the owner to the Kankakee County trustee via tax deed. This is an issue because what probably happened was that the property was up for tax sale, but it wasn't purchased because of the village's lien of $18,000 on there. It was, discouraging people from buying the property. And after 2 years, there's like this loophole in the statutes where technically the county's not supposed to issue a tax deed until all the liens are, taken care of. But the state believes that it's beneficial to get the properties back on the tax roll. So the county was able to issue a tax deed to the Kankakee County as trustee of the property, which at that point, it removed the village's lien. So the village's option to foreclose upon that lien is no longer an option because the lien is gone. And then actually Kankakee County, I think it was on January 15th of this year, the Kankakee County trustee sold it to Nate Hendricks. So the property is actually sold to someone else. So like I said, the village's option to foreclose on the property is now gone. So at this point, the village has 3 options. The first option would be to let the judgment expire. If the village lets the judgment expire, then the village will no longer be able to initiate enforcement action against Mr. Broche, who was the party who the judgment was entered into in the demolition case. If that's the case, then we would need a motion, like an oral motion from the board stating that you guys want you guys wish to let the judgment expire and you don't want our office to pursue, the revival action. The second option would be to authorize our office to conduct an asset search, because the issue would be is that you don't want to let the judgment expire, but you also don't want to initiate this action and this guy not have anything to go after, and then the village spends the money to go, to go ahead, revive the judgment, and then, at that, the reason to revive the judgment would be at this point to go ahead and, start the initiation of this enforcement action. But if there's nothing to go after, then it would be a waste of the village's resources to even do it at that point.
Right.
So the second option, like I said, will be to conduct an asset search. And then at that point, if anything comes up, the village board would make a decision if they wanted to revive the judgment at that point. Our office has done this before for other clients, and I believe that it might have been around $400 to do this, and it took a couple of weeks to get an answer back. The third option would be just to go ahead and decide tonight that you guys want to revive this judgment. So you guys have any questions? I can answer them for you.
Ben?
I think it'd be in our benefit to do option B,
Right.
to see if there's any assets there, and if there's not, then we drop it.
Yeah.
And that's what our office would recommend is the most, feasible option, because you don't want to just let it expire, but you also don't want to spend the time and resources initiating this action and then find out that there's nothing to even go after, and you guys are.
So if
Yeah.
the board is in agreement, I'd like to make a motion at this time to go with option B that we just explained.
Okay. All right. So that would be an oral motion to authorize Spage and Taylor to conduct an asset search of the parties who the judgment was entered against in the demolition case.
Yeah.
And then we will report our findings back to you guys, and then.
And then we have the option at that time either to drop it or to pursue it.
Because at the end of the day, if you did the petition to revive the judgment, it would be $18,115.89. And then I think that you get to, include the interest from that time.
2000 and whatever this was.
I think it was 2018.
2018.
So we don't have the exact number, so it's
Right.
a little more than 18,000, but
Yeah. No, I
that's
agree.
still a significant amount of money.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
That, like I said, they gave it to me and I was like, I'm giving this to the board. I'm not making this.
No, I think that's a viable option. If there's something there, then we can pursue it. And if it's not, then it really hasn't.
Do we need to make some kind of a vote on it? Or
Yeah, just an oral motion that you guys all vote on.
Yeah, and I would second it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ben motion, Gary seconded. Are you writing this down, Steve?
Yeah.
Ben, seconded by Gary.
So, we go around the board and ask everybody.
Rooney,
Yes.
Morgan, Bassini,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
all carried.
Okay, yes, okay. Thank you, Steve. We can get you the wording on that for the minutes when I approve them. I'll make sure it's worded correctly. Okay, so then moving on from that, unless there's any other questions for the attorneys about anything else that we have going on?
There is kind of a corollary. We've been mowing.
Oh, I'm
111
sorry, I missed the beginning of that.
We've been mowing 111 Maple because we knew it was in such flux. Should we stop mowing, or should we try to charge somebody for that? I mean,
We've been upkeeping the property, so.
According to the records from it says that the property was sold on January 15th, 2025.
This year.
So
So then we wouldn't vote.
so we're not gonna mow this year. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
make sure that the team and JD know not to mow that.
Yeah,
Okay.
And so we can start issuing complaints when they come.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because they won't.
No, they won't. Oh, I got mine. I'm looking. Here it is. All right, so moving on to, Pigash. I spoke with Mr. Pigash today. We have, under streets and alleys, it says vote to approve an IDOT engineering agreement, construction engineering service it's gonna be for the downtown streetscape. And then the other thing is to vote and approve Pigash proposal for updated PISA and lighting plan. Yes, that's the name of the lighting plan. The information I got from Neil today is highlighted. The engineer proposal updated PESA and lighting plan is what we're approving tonight. It doesn't cost anything. It's IDOT already did a preliminary site inspection of soil samples on our part on Taylor Street for the lighting plan. Now, Pigash Engineering has to make sure the samples are approved, I'm guessing. And then on June 14th is the letting for this project. June 14th will be the letting, and then possibly starting on this final downtown project will be in September. The engineering proposal is what is the grant that we applied for, which is we paid 20% and it says 80% is paid by the grant. So for the engineering proposal update, what we're approving, they went in and did soil samples apparently. So now we're just approving that went in and got done. Does that make sense to you? And then the IDOT engineering agreement is construction engineering agreement, which is approved. Oh, it is to approve Pigash to cover all reports and inspections, etc., for this IDOT project. That's the explanation I got. Go ahead,
So
ma'am.
nothing's really being updated, it's just the updated soil sample, it's not like an updated plan.
No, not a plan of what's happening in the streetscape. It's just updated board stuff. They updated the dirt that they took from Taylor Street.
It's basically approving
It's a-
Pigash to
Yeah.
manage the whole thing.
And then
That's the
right,
part.
the engineering proposal was the dirt for the lighting and whatnot. And then it says the IDOT engineering agreement, construction engineering services that we were voting on is to approve for Pigash to continue to cover all the stuff for IDOT.
And some of the funding that's in this whole thing, we've already paid for part of it.
Yeah,
And part of it is gonna go into the grant that the state will pay 80%. And we've got plenty of money in TIP right now to cover our 20% plus whatever the engineering is gonna cost over that. So we're in really good shape for paying for this project.
Seems like a lot over soil.
Well,
that's what I thought.
I'd rather sure really want.
it's also agreeing that Pigash is the engineer of the whole project. I mean, there's that part of it too. So it isn't just the soil sample, it's also saying they're the ones that are in charge.
Yeah. And updating the lighting. Apparently, this project didn't have a lot of lighting before.
Yeah, there was. a
And now
problem with the
we
lighting.
have flooded downtown is gonna be lit up like a main runway. It's gonna be bright. So that's the update. The reason we need to vote on it tonight is so that we can get the proper paperwork to IDOT so that IDOT can approve to let Pigash cover all the stuff.
We've already paid them.
Yeah.
We paid. for it.
Yeah, we have, yeah, this
There's still
isn't.
more that we have to pay, but you know, it's usually a lot, I think we can.
It's moving along.
Yeah.
I would put the word okay out.
Okay.
It's been for 6 years now, but
Yeah.
yes,
And
we're
the
getting
due
there.
date is still December 2026.
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
Hopefully it'll be before that. That's kind of like the extreme end date.
I think it was in here, I think it's 27, the end date.
Oh, it could be.
27?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, I knew it at one time it's December 2026.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
within reason.
Yeah, no, today I
It's
was,
a substantial project. It's gonna take some time.
it is. Today I was told that NICOR is what's gonna hold us up for this project. They
that's
have
what they
to
do.
move the main gas thing that is down Taylor Street. They have to move it. So that's gonna be a great project for you, Ben.
So I guess,
So do we have a motion?
yeah, if there's no questions by the board, I'll make a motion to accept, the engineering report
Thank you,
and
sir.
move forward with this.
And I'll second that.
I appreciate it.
Okay, take a vote on it. Rooney,
Yes.
Cassini? Yes. Laurel?
Yes.
Approved.
Okay, now, if I could get anyone's copies that don't have theirs, thank you. Then I can sign these and send them off to them tomorrow.
if you speak with Neil or one of his associates today, reach out. We have a drainage issue on Essen Farm by the athletic field that we need to address. I could go over it with them and we'll work something out.
Okay, yeah, that project is still, we have not submitted final payment for that, so any issues that we're still having are.
It started at the beginning of winter.
Oh, okay.
It's water laying on a pavement that doesn't drain off, and then when it rained and it was mud before it was ice, so we'll try to remedy that problem.
Yes, sir, I will get a hold of him tomorrow for that. I do believe we have to actually do a vote on this other thing too. We have to have two votes, just, yeah, the lighting and the,
PESA and.
just to have it on video and whatever. Because she did specifically put the wordage in there. We could get,
So I
that was
guess,
the engineering proposal that you did.
all right,
So can
so
we
I
get a-
guess we'll make a motion on, are we doing the lighting plan?
Yes,
here?
please, yes.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the lighting plan submitted by our engineers.
And I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the lighting plans by Piggish. Start with Bruni,
Yes.
Bassini. Yes. Worrell.
Yes.
Please.
Thanks, Dave. Financial Committee, Mr. Gary Warren.
Did you do?
Oh, did I miss someone? Oh, Susie's not here.
Afraid.
Oh, God, okay, I apologize. Ms. Weedle is absent. I do not have anything for ordinances, insurance, streets and alley. Mr. Frank Bassini, do you have anything besides what's under you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
We've got some road work that needs to be done on 9,000 east route, Route 1 going east for about 0.6 of a mile.
Okay, shoulder work?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. The thing is, it's probably gonna be done probably June or late June, July. Steve has asked me to talk to the board, because he needs to get his, what do you call it? He needs to get it in so they can schedule.
oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
So I have a quote here for Rosso Trucking. The total is gonna be for like $14,912.
Okay,
Tonight, what I'd like to do is to get approval to have Steve go ahead and get it scheduled.
mm-hmm,
And then this would go on next year's budget.
yes, sir. We can do that. We can definitely do that.
What was the amount?
$14,912.
We could take a stall vote. And, it's under the amount that
Right, and it's in the budget, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
more
in-
like just making sure that we're okay with it.
we're aware of it and they're, before he spends the money, yeah.
And he has actually put it in the FY 26 budget, so. it's
Yes.
good.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm looking for an email. So if we could take a stall vote for that.
Yeah, so he's basically made a motion, just,
So Frank's motioning to let Steve, place, to schedule an appointment for these gentlemen to come out and do the shoulder work. Not to exceed 14,000,
Say 15,000.
not to exceed 15,000. We're gonna take a straw vote so that we can get it scheduled. At the next meeting, we'll take an official vote if we need be. Ben? Yes, no?
Yes,
Morgan?
Yes.
Here,
yes,
Robin?
Yes.
And Frank. Okay, there you go. I'm looking for an estimate, sorry. Here it is. But yeah, like Gary said, it's in their budget, and it is under the amount that we would need a bid for, so we can go ahead and he can get that on the books. Was there anything else?
No, that's it. I'll have Steve schedule it.
Okay. It is coming into springtime. Let's just remind residents that if you see a problem with your neighbor's yard, it is okay to call the police and ask them if it's okay for them to have that issue in their yard. My neighbor has this car parked in front of his house. It's not on the driveway. Is there something we can do about it? Carl or one of the police officers will come and say, you know what, that car can't be on that. We'll give him a ticket to adjudication and we will get it taken care of. The police don't go around looking for code enforcement. issues is the thing. They look for broken laws or violations of vehicle, whatever. So if you are complaining about your neighbor, I'm just bringing this up because I'm getting a lot of emails and complaints about neighbors. Oh, my neighbor has this, my neighbor has this. One, all of our ordinances are available online. You can look it up. It's right off of our Grant Park page. You can go under the ordinance, look up yourself. Can you park a car on soft ground, not pavement? No, you can't. It's in the ordinances. Two, you can call the police officers on the non-emergency. Well, you say don't use the non-emergency number, right? Because it doesn't go to anyone.
No.
In Grant Park, you can call 911 for a non-emergency because we're special. Okay, just call. If you have a question for the police, you can call 911. The police officers will come and just say, hey, my neighbor's been keeping this bag of garbage back here for too long. It smells. Is that okay? Can they do that? You know, they'll help you with that. I just encourage the residents in the town to, one, use your abilities to go online and look up the ordinances yourself. Or we do have hard copies in the village hall if you'd like to go through that page and read it page by page. You can, but they are available online. But the police officers are not going to enforce code issues unless they are made aware of it by someone who lets them know. Right, Carl?
Well, we do,
I mean, yes and no.
yeah, actually, we've been pretty successful so far. Issued a couple 10-day notices and most of the people comply right away.
Mhm.
As soon as I put it up on Facebook, there was a lot of flack over it, but good publicity and bad publicity all work.
Right.
So I think people took care of their stuff. We issued several tickets all on motor vehicles, so they had no
Yeah.
bearing on that type of thing.
Right.
So we're making progress.
But it is okay. Yes, we do teach our children, do not call 911 unless it is an emergency. The problem is we don't have a non-emergency number in Grand Park, so it may not seem like an emergency to you, but you can call 911 to get information from the police officers if you have questions about your neighbor's junk in their yard or boat in their yard or whatever they have that's bothering you. It just seems to be a springtime thing.
Yes.
Where am I at now that I've lost? Gary, Miss Financial Committee, Mr. Gary Morgan.
Yes, I don't really have anything, but I'm working with Griffin Gate Farm on a TIF application, and the application is in good sense. They're ready to do it. I got pictures today. You can take a look at the pictures of the site. It's 109 West Taylor, which is a building that definitely needs some work on it. What I'm waiting for from them is a first floor plan. As soon as they give me the diagram for what they're going to do on the first floor, I'll be submitting this package. They are going to have a project costing $578,000, and they're asking for $320,000 tips. And of course, we got that money in tips, so it's just how many years do we want them to be paid back over? My guess is we'd be paying them back over 3 years.
Is this for exterior and interior?
Yes. Yes. So the exterior is what they're doing is, of course, the roof is in bad shape and they fixed it so it didn't leak. But the roof is the main cost, like $72,000. They're going to completely re-tuck point the entire building, taking down some of the plaster that's in bad shape and replastering. Then they're going to wash the building and paint it and seal it so that it's going to be really nice. And then the inside, they're going to put up some interior walls and a floor. Right now, part of it, as you can see in the pictures, doesn't have a floor. So all that's part of it. And those are mostly things that I know we can cover with TIF. But as soon as we've got the floor plan in this, we'll be submitting it to the TIF attorney and to the TIF administrator, and they'll find any other problems with it. And then we'll come back to you for approval. Does anybody have any questions just off the top about that? I mean, it'd be really nice to have that building looking nice in downtown Grand Park.
Well, yeah, if we ever get our streetscape done.
Yeah, I think it's a positive moving forward with
Oh, for
it.
sure.
And like we talked, as long as they hit the criteria, there's
Right,
no reason to say no.
right, right.
TIP is available to almost every resident in Grant Park except for certain.
There's some areas that are not TIF, like the Tonga's not TIF. Griffin, for some reason, is not TIF. And Hamilton Farms is not, but all the old part of Grant Park is tip eligible.
So it is something that if residents want to do the work and fill out the application and do all the, if you could get things done for your house to make it look correct, roofing and siding and, but you just have to fill out the application. It's that easy.
I mean,
Fill out
and
the
each one
application.
is taken and you have to make sure that there is.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but it doesn't hurt to
Basically,
try.
all taxable property in Grant Park pays and it winds up in tip, so they are eligible to receive it. I have nothing else.
Thank you, sir. Moving on. Community outreach, Mr. Bendella.
At the last meeting, we had a member of the Grant Park Foundation mention a few of the things they would like to do. So on his behalf, I'm going to go over these and then I'll make a motion. They want to do a mommy and me swing here at the community park and add a slide at Health Park. They have a location, but they may have to do some adjusting at the park with the slide and here with the swing. So I think it's, and I'd also like to mention the foundation is paying 100% of the cost of it. So I think it's a great addition. They're doing more work for the park and beautifying the community. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to grant them permission to do the slide at Health Park and the swing here at the community park. And keep in mind, they may have to adjust the location, but it will be here. They're not quite sure how it's going to work out.
I'll second.
Nice.
Okay, motion to accept the Baby and Me swing and the slide installation by the Grant Park Foundation. Motion made by Ben, seconded by Robin. Rudy,
Yes.
Cassini,
Yes.
Laurel,
Yes.
approved.
And Gary.
I'm
I can
sorry,
vote
Gary.
yes. Well, I'm sort of connected to the foundation. I'm not an officer and I have nothing to do with decision making, so I can vote.
You definitely
Okay,
don't.
Gary, include yours as a yes then?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's all I have, man.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, no, that'll be a great addition. I think the slide at Health Park will be amazing. I love that hill. I rolled down it and I'm an adult, so have a slide, to have a slide, that'll be even better. But yeah, okay. Next we have, you have nothing else, right? Okay. Law Enforcement Committee, Miss Morgan Warhol.
Do you want to skip us and go last?
I don't have, I can go next. Yeah, I can go next. You want to go last? Okay.
Please.
Next I did notice, I mean, I'm sure everyone else noticed too, the Pepin property, a couple more trees have fallen down, across the driveway. I had to go put the snow fence back up the other day. It's looking at trash but it's our responsibility now. We have the deed for both properties. We're responsible for it. I did go out and get a landscaping estimate. This is not it. Not my phone, sorry. I was looking at that name like that is not who I got an estimate from. A young man out of Bourbonnais called the Scenic Route. I did make sure he is licensed and bonded before I even asked him to give me an estimate, just because of what happened last time. But anyways, he came out here, he met me at the property. There is quite a few trees down. They have a bush hog. Is it called a bush hog?
Yes.
Okay, a bush hog that they can come in, anything under so many inches, they'll be able to knock down. I asked them to estimate approximately 10 feet from what we already mow, that the boys mow already, just to get some of it cleaned up and some of the trees picked up. He did also agree that if Deb Morgan liked any of the stumps that he picks up, he would be more than happy to cut them up and donate them to the park, which is gonna be right down the street. Sorry, the estimate he gave me is for cleaning all small garbage, removal of tree branches over the driveway, knock down overgrowth in front, approximately 2 acres, which is about 20 feet of from the 10-foot to here. For a $3,500. He said it would approximately be about 2 days with the bush hog. To go in, clear it out, pick up the trees that are laying down over the driveway and some other ones, and just get it looking nicer since we are responsible for the property. So I took that upon myself. No one asked me to do that. I don't know if the board is even interested in doing that. I just thought it needed to look better, so.
Is that for on the whole property or just the side by Dollar General with it in the sidewalk with it?
Mostly just the front part and where there's a, I don't know how many people go past it, but there's a bunch of trees that have now fallen onto the driveway and whatnot. You'd be able to go in and pick those up, make it, I asked him, could you just make it a lot safer? Mostly, pick up a lot of this stuff and make it safer. Right, so he's happy to do it. He said, you know, it'd be whatever, so that's the estimate I have. If you want to discuss it, if you'd like to vote on it.
I'll move all of it away, or are we responsible for it? Down bigger trees.
He asked, he would do both. He'll haul it away and mulch it, or if we want to mulch it or whatever, or I told him our boys could burn it. If he wants to take it to our burn pile, we'll burn it for him if it's cheaper. This is just, yeah, you can estimate it, just getting it cleaned up and basically doing whatever we want. If Deb wants, logs or whatever, we'll bring them over there. Yeah,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
Are we ready to market the property?
I don't think so. Are we ready to market the property?
I'm not sure.
Okay. As far as having the deeds and stuff, yes, we
Well,
are
I
ready.
mean, that part, but
Yes.
going as far as, I know we got both pins.
Mhm.
The main building and property the house sits on and the adjacent.
In the back, yes.
So, my thought right now is, as soon as we can, get it on the market.
Mhm.
Not do any cleanup with it and see where it goes. If there is no takers on it, then maybe do some cleanup. I hate to spend money on it. I would rather whoever purchases the property
Yeah, no, yeah,
go ahead with it. I mean, I understand your point of aesthetics. I mean,
Well,
we want it to look nice. It is a calling card when you come into the community. We're having some issues right now at Dollar General with some of the trees
Mhm.
coming into the parking lot.
Yeah.
So we would be responsible for any vehicle damage there. Do we know how long it would be before we can put the property on the
I'm
market?
not sure. I'll go ask Michael and I'll have him get back to you guys.
Mike is just, right now, he's just waiting. We were waiting on the next deed and then he was gonna come to a meeting and discuss our options of bidding it off, selling it outright. There were like 3 things he gave us that we could do with it. So we can have him come.
Maybe right now, maybe we can table as far as the cleanup goes, see how close we are to getting on the market. And then make a determination at that point, if it's gonna be a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Do some more cleaning up on the property.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I just, like I said, the trees on Dollar General, I know they've been talking about it a lot. And then just a safety thing as far as the new trees that have fallen, I was just like, something.
I mean, does the board agree with that?
We have no insurance on the property right now either, just an FYI. So if something does, God forbid, happen.
Well, that's why I would like
Yeah,
to
no, I agree,
get it
yeah,
on the market. And our goal on this property for a long time has been to get rid of it.
yeah.
And we'll see where we're at, if you can give us that information.
I will, reach out to Michael and I will make sure he gets back to you guys with
Yeah.
timeline.
Is the rest of the board in agreement, or do someone else have an opinion on it?
Let's go back to this next meeting and see what we've got, and then maybe the 10 feet, like she said, 10 feet into the property, just to cover DG right there and.
You know, I mean, if we can possibly roll, if we do any cleanup, roll the cost or roll whatever we spend back into the cost of the property. I don't want to put a lot of money into
No.
this property because I don't know how long it's going to sit, but I understand the safety aspect of it. You have to be, because of the business next door, we have to be very careful because it is our property.
Especially with the said we don't have insurance on that.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I was looking at it as a mama bear, like, oh my God, something happened.
If you could do that, maybe we'll table it till next meeting or till we get the information and Mr. Sanchi, and then we can move forward.
I will
Sounds
make
good.
him work on that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, I like it. At the last meeting, we talked about the line dancing continuing for free, if that would be okay. The only issue I see going forward is Thursday, April 23rd. I think Lake Matanga has the building.
Yes.
So we will obviously wouldn't line dance on that night, but I did bring it last week. Sarah and her husband Adam were here to discuss if there was any questions. So I don't know if we could vote on tonight, letting them use it for further whatever, or.
Yeah, I mean, we can phrase it as a
What do you- yeah.
community event that we're
Okay.
sponsoring it,
Okay.
because then there's no question. The village is putting this on, even though it's not costing us anything.
Okay,
So I think that would be the easiest way, with the idea that as Village president said if it's rented, then that particular day we couldn't offer it.
Yes.
There hasn't been any problem as far as cleanliness.
It's been good. They're taking care of it.
So I
I
think,
usually clean up.
I think at this time I'll make a motion. We'll continue it. It seems to be popular, with the exception if it's rented, then we'll just move dates.
I like that.
I'll second.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we can take a vote for continuation of the line dancing free of use on Thursday nights at the community center covered under the community events. Ben made the motion, Robin seconded. We'll do Bruni, I'm sorry. Cassini,
Yes.
Worrell,
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
I swear to God.
Approved.
Your name's not Robin or Bruni.
We get two.
Right. Just kidding, Steve. I love you.
It's nice to learn a little bit.
I'm just glad we're not doing
You
this.
see, it's not easy sitting up here doing this, let me tell you. The next, we have a invoice from a resident, Ben.
Yeah, I'd like to address this. We're not going to go too deeply into this, but the village received a bill last year, through no fault of our own, a piece of our equipment broke down. We weren't able to pick up leads. We did distribute a letter. This is the letter saying that we apologize for this, and we have come up with a plan, and we'll discuss that in the months to come. But we couldn't pick leads up. After that happened, we had somebody put leads and debris out in the street, and we didn't pick it up. And we received a bill for a substantial amount of money. So because we publicly made the statement that we weren't able to offer the service, I don't think we're obliged to pay this bill.
The bill just for, it's $771.07. I'm not gonna say who it's from, but yes, someone did send us a bill for $771.07.
You know, if it's, and I understood, there was probably a reason behind it, but we did our very best to make sure that we could do everything we could. We looked for used equipment. It just didn't work out. We do have a plan in place, and we will talk about it at a later date. But you need to come to the village board and say, I need some help here, or here's what the situation is, not give us a bill and expect us to pay it. Because my philosophy on that is if I'm gonna do it, I need to do it for everyone, or I can't do it for anybody.
Yes.
And that's as fair as I could be. And I'm sure there will be people that would argue with me, but that's my stance. And we cannot offer it to everybody in the village. 99% of the people were great. I talked to the maintenance department about it. They said, great, no one's putting anything out. They understood our situation, and we are working on a solution.
Yeah,
But my stance on this right now is no, we're not gonna pay the bill.
I agree. I wanted to bring it to the village's attention. Obviously, we're not gonna highlight or spotlight it, but we did try for over a year, to warn people that this was not gonna happen, but like Ben said, though, if you are a resident and you are in need and you absolutely are so decrepit, you can't mow your own grass, the village is willing to help out to anyone who wants to ask for help. We have no problem doing it once in a while, correct?
We have, when
We've done
someone
it
says,
before.
hey, because of sickness or my equipment
Right.
broke down, we made that stop. We didn't broadcast it out. We just went ahead and did it to help out a resident. But in this circumstance, it's one of these things. My feeling on this is I can't offer it to everybody, so we can't offer it at all.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Ben. All right, last but not least by any means, Laurel, you have an award.
We do have an award.
Prior to the award, one thing I want to mention is, I got a letter from Momence Police Department. We worked very closely with them, recognizing Greg Stepich. He went down there on February 26th. They had a violent offender who was, ended up fighting with Greg and the Momence officer and had to be subdued. And after all that happened, he was charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery to the police officer and resisting arrest. Got a very nice letter from the chief in Momence
Nice.
praising his conduct, so.
Thank you, Greg. Glad you're safe.
Next, I would like Sergeant Castillo to step forward.
Sergeant Castillo.
I will preface this by, Al responded to what your fire call. And, everybody here knowing Al has asthma. And he should be going into fires, as Mary points out to me every single chance she gets. So apparently Al is now my responsibility forever.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
but
sir.
all that being said. Center, please.
I only have one arm.
I'm presenting this Medal of Valor. It's presented to Sergeant Alberto Castillo on March 10th, 2025. Sergeant Castillo responded to a building fire in rural Grant Park. On his arrival, the machine shed was on fire, and the smoke was very thick. The house next to the shed was in imminent danger, and the smoke was pouring into the house. While the male resident was out of the house, the female resident was still inside. Sergeant Castillo entered the house, removed the female resident, at great risk to himself. Sergeant Castillo displayed exceptional bravery and is worthy of this Medal of Valor. Presented this day, April 7th, 2025. And he actually jumped a railing, which Mary was freaking out at as well. It was not that high.
No, it was funny.
And, you know, people ask us all the time, you know, why do you guys do this? Because it's dangerous, but that's kind of our job. Our fire guys are here. Thank you for coming. We get there before they get there. And a lot of times, you know, even none of us are young guys. Even though those situations exist, we're not going to stand there and let somebody get injured just because we're older guys. Yeah. So, thank you, everybody, for coming. Al's family is providing food and beverage after the event, so feel free.
Did you guys have anything else? Did you have anything else?
No, just Mary said you can never go in another fire zone.
Well, can I make a motion?
Mary.
Yes, I'll second. I think we should be an honorary fireman.
You know, in addition to that, I also got, it was very difficult to get, but I got it in short trip, a pin of valor for you.
Oh.
Pete? Say something. Say something. You're on camera.
Want to say something?
Thank you, guys. You know, it was my job. You know, I don't know, I'm a humble person.
You'll do it again. You'll do it again.
I wish I could say this is not gonna happen again. That's not gonna happen again. The fire department was very gracious, though. They did offer, they said they have extra air packs, so we could put one in his car.
So one thing I'd like to say, I appreciate our cops. We're mostly volunteers / part-time department. They help out a lot. These guys hit hydrants for us and do a lot of things for us. So I do appreciate them, and we have a very good working relationship. Because we don't work for the village, we are our own protection district, so we kind of work for ourselves. People don't understand how that works. So we really do appreciate these guys, and we do really work well together, so I appreciate it.
Do you have any? No?
I went through the.
We're fine, we can take a file.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we're still in a meeting. Kind of. Is everyone in favor of adjourning?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Let's have pizza.